So the Wales team to play England has been announced, and there's 7 changes from the Scotland game from that incredible comeback in the second half. A lot of players have seen themselves rewarded. A couple might find themselves a little bit unlucky, but let's not mess around. Let's dig straight into the team and see what's going on. So starting with the pack, a little bit surprising to see Gareth Thomas come straight in after his injury. Domachowski with a heroic performance against Scotland. Don't forget that in that first 10 minutes he took a really bad bang on the shoulder and looked like he could have gone off. And then he did the full 80 after that. Absolutely crazy. So he could be a bit unlucky. He's moved to the bench. At hooker then we've got Elliot Dee, who comes in for Elias after his big impact off the bench. His line out was great. He was good around the park and he's rewarded for this. Hopefully this might fix our line out a little bit. Then also coming in is Kieran Azarati. So it's a whole new front row starting from the Scotland game. Azarati had a big performance and a big impact off the bench as well. So he's rewarded. In the second row, we stick with Dav Jenkins and Adam Beard. Jenkins obviously captain. Beard keeps his spot as Will Rowlands is fit again and back with the squad. So interesting that Beard has kept his spot. But I think sort of for continuity, maybe just keep it as it is. He is the line-out caller, even though I don't know how good he is at calling the line-out. It seems to be a mess, but anyway. A big call-up then for starting is Alex Mann coming in at 6. Really chuffed for Alex Mann. And his performance against Scotland and his performances for Cardiff this season have been rewarded. And he comes in a massive game for his first start in the Six Nations. Then the other two is Rafael and Wainwright, so no surprises there. Wainwright was spectacular against Scotland, so let's hope he's sort of taken up that step now and as one of the more senior players, and he's going to be a real leader for us. Then the back line is quite a lot of change as well. You've got Thomas Williams coming in to replace Gareth Davis, Johan Lloyd, who comes in for the injured Sam Costello, Tompkins at 12, North comes back fit into 13, and then you've got Dyer, Adams and Winnett at fullback. There was quite a lot of discussion over the comments that Gatlin made about Adams on the weekend, and was he just lining him up to drop him? I said and I thought that I didn't think he was going to drop him. He was one of our more senior players and an important player, and I think he was trying to more galvanise Adams. And I think Adams, as long as he's fit, because he looked a bit injured in that Scotland game, as long as he's fit, I expect to see a big reaction off him, and hope he cuts out all this petulant stuff that's sort of creeped into his game as of late. So that's the starting lineup. So 7 changes, like we said. No real surprises. Maybe you could say Gareth Thomas is a surprise, but the rest are pretty much what most people were hoping for, most people were expecting. Maybe Will Rowland being on the bench and not starting because of how good he is, but we don't know how sort of up to speed he is with things. He's missed quite a lot of the camp over the last few weeks. So that's the starting lineup. Then on the bench, it is Elias at hooker, Domachowski at prop, Archie Griffin coming in at the tight head. Leon Brown is injured, so unfortunate for Leon Brown. So we're probably going to get a look at Archie Griffin unless he does what he did with Domachowski and gives Hazarati 80 minutes, but I can't see it. So a potentially massive moment for Archie Griffin. So congratulations to him for potentially earning his first cap. Then in the covering the second row is Will Rowlands, as we just said. So happy that he's back, and hopefully everything is okay with his wife and the new baby. Then in the back row, Basham comes in for Botham. So Botham obviously started. Alex Mann was on the bench. Mann's been promoted. Botham was actually carrying an injury. It was a knee injury. So Botham's out. Basham onto the bench. I quite like that. He was good when we played them in the warm-up game away, coming off the bench, and he was really good through the World Cup coming off the bench. So he hasn't had the best of seasons, but sometimes players, when they go to the internationals and they have a different environment, it sort of galvanises them, and they like different players. So interestingly, when we come to the backs, you've got Kieran Hardy on the bench, no Gareth Davis, who seems like a casualty from the Scotland game. I can't find anywhere online that he's been injured or anything like that. So yeah, that is a a bit of a surprise because Gatland has always sort of stuck with Gareth Davis, and it seems like he's just completely dropped him out of the squad. So yeah, that's a weird one. And Hardy hasn't really had a good season for the Scarlets, so a little bit surprised with that. I think a little bit harsh as well because they're just playing the game plan that Gatland told them to play. But then rounding out the bench is Kai Evans, who's in for the injured Costello, bumped up because of that. And then Mason Grady will make hopefully a big impact off the bench. In this game, George North will become only the 5th Welsh player to play 50 appearances in the Six Nations. So congratulations to him. That's a big milestone. Shows, I mean, just how long he's been around is crazy. I know he was so young when he came into the squad. So yeah, congratulations to him. And then it's just the injured players. I'll just go through them again in case I missed anyone. So Costello has got an injury on the neck from that big sort of head-to-head clear-out, which, I don't know, it's a bit of a grey area. I thought it was the refs got it right, but I've heard a few people say it's head contact. I don't know. I sort of worry a little bit about Costello now because he's picked up a couple of these injuries. You've got to feel sorry for him because he's finally got it into a place where the senior players have gone, and now he's getting injured all the time when he should be making the jersey his own and getting lots of game time. But I guess he's a small guy, so that's what makes me worry. Anyway, moving on. Then Botham with the knee. I was really calling for Mann to come in, and I think Basham offers a bit more than Botham anyway. So not that I want Botham to be injured, but and then Leon Brown with the shoulder again. It's just like, I don't know what the guy has done wrong. I know I was not particularly wanting him in the team. I was calling for him to be dropped. I didn't want him to start last week. But, you don't want to keep seeing this. I just don't know what he can do. Like, he's just one of those players, unfortunately. And you do see them who just gets injured all the time. And it's just so unfortunate for the guy. It must be so frustrating. I mean, he's worked his way back to fitness for the Dragons. Gets the call up for Wales. Gets a start. And then he's injured the next week. It's just like, yeah, it can't be good. But anyway, I'm really happy with this team. I think we can really go up to Twickenham and do something. I don't think they're especially going to be that full of confidence. They weren't spectacular last week. There's definitely some places we can expose them. And I think he's picked a more like sort of, Gatland has picked a bit more of an exciting team rather than last week. I think he sort of he tried to be like a little bit safe with his selection. Like, for example, players like Botham, I guess you could even say Brown, who have been sort of he knows have played international rugby rather than give these young guys an opportunity. So I think Teddy Williams can be a little bit disappointing. I thought he was really, really impressive when he came on last week. But, you're not going to drop Dav Jenkins, and you're not going to drop Beard from the squad completely, and Rowlands has to come in as soon as he can. So yeah, really happy to see D as well. That was one that I was really looking to see D starting over Elias. We've seen Elias have good games for Wales, and he can hit his line out, but I think once it goes wrong once or twice, I don't know whether it's like a confidence thing or something like that, and it just seems to fall apart. So I don't think D's quite like that. He's a bit of a game player, so I really like that. But yeah, that's the team, and really excited for the game Saturday. They caught me a bit on the hop. Usually they announce it on a Thursday, so they caught me out a little bit. Only just got out of the shower. But I'll leave it with you. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I will catch you on the next one, and please subscribe.